Thank you, Chairman Biggs, and happy to be part of this hearing today with you. Today's hearing titled, At What Cost? Examining the Social Cost of Carbon. And happy to have the witnesses here today as we examine the previous administration's social cost of carbon and the shortfalls in application of this flawed process. There is significant evidence that the previous administration manipulated the social cost of carbon calculation to reflect significant benefits to enacting what were ultimately job-killing regulations and policies across a wide spectrum of issues. The social cost of carbon is a flawed tool used by the Obama administration to justify a green agenda, when in reality, the prior administration was seeking to offset its costly regulations with far-reaching implications that burden our industries and nation. Unsurprisingly, the previous administration ignored specific guidelines set forth by the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, and used the social cost of carbon as a vehicle to tout the economic benefits of the new environmental regulations. This is troubling and to me is not being honest with the taxpayers. Critics take issue primarily with two aspects of the social cost of carbon methodology, specifically the discount rate used and the domestic versus global benefits claimed. Both issues I look forward to discussing in more detail with our panel of esteemed witnesses today. I too take issue with the methodology, but also the lack of transparency with the use and development of the social cost of carbon. 3 statistical integrated assessment economic models were used to develop the social cost of carbon: the fund, the DICE, and the PAGE. Experts have concluded these 3 models are flawed and possess too many uncertainties to be the foundation of the benefit analysis of environmental regulations. If one were to change the reasonable assumptions these models were based on, the result will drastically differ, demonstrating malleability in the social cost of carbon calculation. Because of these realities, last year I was pleased to be an original co-sponsor of H.R. 5668, the Transparency and Honesty in Energy Regulation Act, or THERA, introduced by my friend and colleague Evan Jenkins of West Virginia. This legislation is aimed at prohibiting the Department of Energy and the Environmental Protection Agency from considering the social cost of carbon as part of any cost-benefit analysis unless specifically authorized by law. If signed into law, the DOE and the EPA would no longer rely on manipulated and fabricated economic benefits to justify or support new job-killing environmental regulations. I look forward to working with Congressman Jenkins again on this issue this Congress. It appears that the social cost of carbon is nothing but a political tool lacking scientific integrity and transparency, conceived and utilized by an administration pushing a green agenda to the detriment of the American taxpayers. Perhaps a better measurement of the social cost of carbon is not the net damages that result from a 1 metric ton increase in carbon dioxide emissions in a given year, but the damage inflicted on domestic industries, including manufacturers in my district like Caterpillar, by the environmental regulations justified by this flawed calculation. I would like to thank our witnesses for being here today to discuss this important matter. In addition, I look forward to working with the Trump administration to reverse the damage caused by the Obama administration as it relates to this issue. With that, I yield back to the chair.